You know that feeling, right? When someone's opinion, maybe even just a look, has the power to totally make or break your day? Well, today, we're going to dig into why that happens, and more importantly, how you can build what's called internal authority.
I mean, just let that sink in for a second. A sideways glance, a little piece of criticism, a comment that might have meant nothing, and bam, your entire sense of self just takes a nosedive. If that sounds even a little bit familiar, then you are definitely in the right place.
This really gets to the very heart of the issue. When you let every little outside comment dictate how you feel about yourself, you've pretty much handed over the keys to who you are. You're letting strangers, your boss, even your family drive your self-worth. And let's be honest, that is a very, very bumpy ride.
So, where does all this come from? Well, for a whole lot of us, it starts with something called the people-pleasing trap.
Okay, what's so fascinating about this is how we spin it to ourselves. We say things like, oh, I'm just being kind, or I just want to be a good person. But when you really look under the hood, people-pleasing isn't really about genuine kindness. It's a survival mechanism and is driven by fear, the fear of disapproval, of conflict, or someone thinking you're difficult. It's all about managing their feelings, not honoring your own.
And all that constant management of other people's emotions, it comes at a huge cost. So let's talk about the real price you pay for conforming.
Seriously, think about it. That time you said, oh, it's fine, when it really wasn't. Or the time you agreed to take on that extra work you just didn't have time for. Each of those moments might feel small, but they're actually these tiny acts of abandoning yourself. They are little betrayals of your own needs, your own time, and your own values.
And with every single one of those self-betrayals, you are literally giving a piece of yourself away. It's like you're chipping off a tiny fragment of your core identity and handing it over just to get someone's temporary approval.
And over time, this creates some major problems. Those gaps where your real self used to be, they start to fill up with resentment. You get so tired. And then, one day, you can actually wake up and realize you don't even know who you are anymore, because you've spent so much time and energy just trying to be the version of yourself you thought other people wanted.
Okay, so that's the problem. And yeah, it's heavy stuff, I know. But here's the good news. There is a clear, totally actionable way out of this. And it all starts with building evidence for yourself.
Now, this is so crucial. You can't just wake up one morning and decide, I'm not going to care what people think anymore. Positive affirmations are great, but they're not enough on their own. And why is that? Because your brain is an evidence-based machine. It learns from experience, from proof, not just from wishful thinking. So to change the belief, you have to give it new data.
And this is exactly how you create that new data. It's a really simple cycle. First, you take one small action that feels a little uncomfortable. Maybe you just say no to a tiny request. Then, and this part is key, you don't distract yourself. You just sit with that awkward, uncomfortable feeling, and you notice that you survived. The world did not end. And right then, your brain logs that experience as brand new evidence. Hey, I set a boundary, it felt weird, but I was okay.
And practicing this little cycle over and over again helps you build the single most important skill you need to get your internal authority back. It's the master skill of surviving disapproval.
This is it. This is the whole secret. The goal isn't to make sure no one ever disapproves of you. I mean, that's impossible. The real goal is to build up the ability to feel someone else's disappointment or disagreement and not immediately freak out and try to fix it. To just let it be their feeling, not your emergency.
Because when it comes right down to it, your value as a person is constant. It's not a stock on the market that goes up and down based on what everyone else thinks. It's inherent. And you have to start believing that it exists completely separate from anyone else's opinion of you.
Okay, but what do you do in that actual moment of panic? You know, when you set that boundary and you feel that wave of anxiety starting to rise. There's an amazing science-backed tool you can use called the Physiological Sigh. And it works almost instantly to tell your nervous system to just calm down.
And it's incredibly simple. You just take a big, full breath in through your nose. Then, when you're at the very top of that breath, you sneak in one more little sip of air. And then, you let out a long, slow exhale through your mouth. That double inhale actually pops open the little air sacs in your lungs, and the long exhale gets rid of carbon dioxide and basically sends a signal to your brain that says, hey, we're safe, time to relax. So as you start to practice this, as you begin taking back those keys to your own identity, I want you to always remember this fundamental truth. You are a one of one. Your specific, unique mix of dreams, fears, thoughts, and talents, it has never existed before and it will never exist again. Your life shouldn't be a copy of what someone else expects it to be.
So I'm going to leave you with this question to really think about. After everything we've just talked about, what is one small piece of yourself, one tiny no you need to say, or one small boundary that you are going to reclaim first? The whole journey starts right there. Thanks for diving into this with me.